We are in a series entitled Surprise the World, in which we are laying before you this conviction that all followers of Jesus are called to be active representations of him where they live, where they work, where they play, that we are to be on mission. And so in this series, along with a resource we've given you, we're kind of unpacking, this is what this looks like. This is how we do it. Here's the theology behind this, and here's some tangible next steps for you. But as I teach, I don't want the idea of this just to be sort of like in the sky theology. I want to lay before you pictures of what this looks like in actual lives. And so we have a segment that we're entitling Missionary Stories from the Street, where I'm just inviting someone up to share how this sort of missional life has come out through their life and into the community around them. And as I was thinking about who I wanted to share, Tom Trageser came to mind. And so would you welcome Tom?
Hey, thanks. My wife warned me that I would need a tissue this morning, and I didn't listen. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. So I recently, a couple years, retired. And as is my rhythm just in life, in my mornings I have coffee with Jesus, and we just chat. And I'm trying to pay attention to what he's saying. And so these were special moments, and I was sitting in my old man chair. Some of you understand that language. And it was a Saturday early morning, and I was having my chat with Jesus. And we had recently been engaging with Hugh Halter and The Flesh, that book, The Flesh. And I was considering some of that text and some of those thoughts, and was wondering what I was supposed to be doing now. How did God want me to live out my life in these moments where I got some newfound time? And one of the things that I remember hearing from Hugh and reading in that book, I believe, was that 2/3 of my time or more should be with people who don't look like me or believe like me or talk like me. And most of my over 40 years in the workplace, and my traffic pattern was mostly with people that look like me. And so I felt like that morning, that Saturday morning in my old man chair, that God was saying, I really want to change things up with you and put you with different people. And I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I make that happen? And mainly the commandment, love your neighbor. How I need to love my neighbors. I haven't been spending much time with my neighbors unless they were in row 10 of the Delta flight I was on. That was my neighbor. And so I kind of put my name out there at a couple of the local dives, the hot dog place, the pizza place, the restaurants, because I saw that post-COVID, a lot of these places were saying they needed employees. They couldn't find enough employees. And I said, well, maybe I can help one of my neighbors that way, the local establishment. And I thought, well, and I think that those people are probably, maybe they're different from me. So that can help me get to the 2/3 that I haven't been hanging around. And so I'm praying, okay, Lord, is that what you want from me? And right then the phone rang. And I picked it up, and it sounded like an old lady New York voice. Now that's the pot calling the kettle black, but that's what it was on the other end. And she said to me, I have a piece of paper with your name and phone number on it. And I owned this local pizza place. Would you like to come down and talk to me about working for me? I said, great, I'll be right down. So I went down and I sat across from her, and she said, you're not exactly what I was expecting. And she said, tell me what's going on. And I said, I was praying a couple minutes ago that God would show me how to love my neighbors. And the phone rang, it was you. And she said, funny thing, I've been looking for a friend. I need a friend. My son died and left me this pizza place. I moved down from New York to run it, and I feel alone. I said, well, I think I can be your friend. So for the next several months, until she could find other employees, I was her friend and became the friends of the people that work there. And that's my story.